All right. So Yin Yoga today. I'm gonna turn my camera soon, but I wanted to show you this amazing tree in the background because this tree is called a Corteza amarilla. It only blossoms 3 days every year, which is incredible. And when it does, as you can see, today is the second day, it's like an explosion of beautiful yellow colors. And and it really made me think because it's also amazing to just watch. Like yesterday, I was sitting below the tree and I was just watching the blossoms, and then there was so much activity in the tree, and iguana and like hummingbirds and bees and everything. And it's like almost everybody knows, okay, we have 3 days to go for the juice. And it's amazing how nature does it and how nobody questions why the tree is only blossoming 3 days a year. So weird, right? Because it's 362 days with no flowers. But then when it comes, we're just in awe of it. And it made me also think of like we humans are always so much in control of like how we want things to be and how we want to be and how we want to be different or change. And, instead of also accepting our nature. So, Yin Yoga is so much about the courage to make choices and the courage to say no and the courage to say yes to whatever arises. And when we don't know, when we're not connected to the way our body speaks to us, it's so much harder to say yes or no because we're like, I don't know. Which also is actually a good place to be, the place of the I don't know. And it takes a lot of courage to admit that too, because most of the time, if somebody asks you something, you want to have an answer. And, here in Costa Rica, people rather say something than saying, I don't know. So I want to dive in with you into the Yin Yoga today in a supported child's pose. So I'd like you to bring your knees together but make them nice and wide. You could also place a pillow between your thighs. And I'm going to turn now to my little setup so that I can be with you on the mat. So, supported child's pose. If you want, really nice to use a bolster or a pillow. You can sit back and you can rest forward and then either rest your forehead or rest your head to one side, whatever feels good. And child's pose is a beautiful pose. And if you need more height, you can, of course, also place blocks underneath. So, what I love about yoga and especially about Yin Yoga really is the encouragement to get comfortable and to do what you need to do. And again, like I said, it takes quite some courage to do that and to explore and to also explore those moments when we say yes, but we mean no, or we say no and we mean yes, and what it is that's keeping us from saying yes or no, or what we truly, really want. So we'll have about 3 more minutes in the pose, and I'd like you to really feel the breath expanding into your back body. The face remains completely soft. And think of it as using the practice today to sum up the courage. If you need courage right now for something in your life or for some decisions or some places where you need to say yes or no. And sometimes saying no to somebody else or something else is saying yes to yourself, which is Beautiful. So breathing deeply, belly also expanding between your thighs. If you have your head to one side, you could take it to the other side to see what feels right. 2 more minutes to go here. Notice where your mind goes. If your mind travels, always bring yourself back to the sensations in your body. That's how we're learning the language, the way the body speaks to us. That's how we connect to intuition. It's not this loud voice, it's rather a quiet voice. And the breath also giving us a sense of steadiness, stability. It's always there for us. Last minute here in this pose. Maybe taking a couple of really deep, deep, deep breaths. Good. And then from here, slowly with your next breath, finding your way out of the pose. So sliding your hands back. If you have any props, slide them over to the side. And come onto your hands and knees. Knees go underneath the hips. And we'll stretch out the spine now with a few cat cows, nice and easy as you inhale, dropping the belly and looking up. As you exhaling, drawing the navel in and rounding. And again, inhaling, arching, and exhaling, rounding. Beautiful. Last one, inhaling, arching, and exhaling to round. Good. Now slide your left knee outside of your left wrist. And we're coming into Swan. And so first we're coming into the seated Swan. And we're not doing the pigeon pose. That's why we call it different. So if your body wants to fall onto the left, that's okay. You could also use a pillow underneath, anything that feels good. Like really notice where your body wants to go. Also really nice again to use your bolster or to use some support underneath your chest, whatever feels good. And then find your way forward into the sleeping swan. And the stretch is on the outside of the left thigh, but remember, in Yin Yoga, we want to feel like a gentle sensation, so not a crazy stretch, also not feeling nothing. So move around a little bit, explore. The first minute of the practice is really there to explore and notice where the body wants to go, to surrender. If it's too much for your knee to be in the full sleeping swan, you can come to lie on your back and do the modification with your left foot above the right knee, and then hugging the knee into the chest and just resting here, maybe rolling a little bit more over to the right cheek, for more sensation and a deeper stretch in the left thigh. So that's the alternative. And wherever you are, breathe. So moving into the hips is always connected to emotions. Whatever you feel moving through you, allow it to be present. When we acknowledge, when we allow, this is the way also that we release. Anything that we keep pushing down into the body cannot be released and will always come back to remind us. So really think of it as energy flowing through you. And you are using these practices to create an environment that is safe to watch, feel, let go, shift, transform, and move. Breathing deeply for about 2 more minutes, really just focusing on the sensation, the stretch, not wanting to change, not wanting to shift. Notice if there's any tension in your face, on your shoulders. Sometimes the funniest places where we are holding. Heart is melting, face is soft. And we have about 1 more minute here. Good. Last 30 seconds. Breathing, melting, allowing. Good. Beautiful. Slowly now, with your next breath, walk your hands back. If you are in the sleeping swan, roll over onto the left cheek and swing the right leg in front. Open the feet nice and wide and gently move your knees side to side. If you were lying on the back, you can just come up to seated and also do a little bit of windshield wipers. It's always a good way to release a pose. Good. All right, now straighten your front leg and bring your right knee on top of the left leg. And this is called half shoelace. So one option is to sit nice and tall here. You can even bring your hands back if that feels good. Feel the stretch. If you have the leg long, it's more a little bit of a stretch in the hamstring. If you feel pretty open in your hips, you could come into full shoelace and also bend the left knee. This is a 3-minute pose. So just see where you're at. Again, it's a little bit different as you fold forward. If you do the full shoelace pose, it goes a little bit more into the hips. If you have your left leg straight, you will probably feel it more in your hamstrings. But again, explore, notice how the body feels. We'll compare it with the other side when we switch. But just really, again, dropping into this yin energy of allowing, melting, receiving, not trying to change anything, not trying to control anything, and just enjoying the beautiful, nice flow of your breath, steady, deep. And really, how lucky you are to carve this time out of your day to nourish your system, to nourish your body. Maybe at some point you could go a little bit further, a little bit deeper, but keep listening to make sure your leg is not engaged. And breathing. Good. We have the last minute here. Feel it with your biggest breath. Notice when you hit resistance. Sometimes the resistance is even something emotional or mental. Most of the time it's probably physical, but really check in. Good. And then take another big breath in, exhale through the mouth. And find your way back up to seated. Straighten both legs and just very gently shake them out. Notice the release of the pose, how that feels. There's no rush. When you feel ready for the other side, you bring your left knee over the right knee. Option number one, shoelace. You could also use a block and sit like this, supporting your head so your back is a little bit round. You feel the stretch behind your right thigh. Or you can come into the full pose by bending both knees, but please only do that if you really have the space, if it doesn't hurt too much and your knees are on top of each other, so that you could even fold forward. And if that is really intense and painful, then it's not for you. So again, on a scale from 1, meaning no sensation, to 10, meaning a lot of sensation, you want to be somewhere in the middle, like a 6 or 7, and really exploring and breathing. Where does your mind go? What kind of emotions are present? Where in your body do you feel a clear yes? Is that something you feel in your heart? Is that something you feel in your belly? For me, if something feels yes, it feels like a really ease, warm, gentle feeling in the belly. But everybody's different, so a little bit over 30 seconds left here. And then take 3 more deep, deep, deep breaths. To then slowly walk your hands back. Place your hands behind, unfold your legs, straighten them. Take a moment here, feel the release, maybe very gently rock a little bit side to side with the legs. Good. All right, we're ready to come into sleeping swan with the right knee forward. If you know you need to do the modification would be right foot above left knee, holding on to the shin, rocking a little bit more over to the left side in order to deepen the stretch. Or regular sleeping swan, you swing your left leg back, your right knee goes a little bit out to the right, and then either you place a bolster or a pillow. Maybe you roll onto the right side, whatever feels good. You could also turn your head over to the right knee. So also notice what feels best on your neck. And then with every breath, melt a little deeper into your sleeping swan. And so very important here to keep the face soft, keep the eyes closed. How does that feel compared to the first side? Is your body still gripping somewhere? Is your body soft, receptive, letting go? Just explore with your breath. Again, listening for yes and no in the body. If there's anything that needs to shift or change, you're absolutely welcome to adjust. But always check in first if you can remain still and keep breathing. So the only time that we actually really want to make sure we come out is if there's any kind of sharp pain. About 2 more minutes to go. Exhaling through the mouth is always a nice option. Really keeping your mouth, your jaw relaxed, soft. So it takes courage to act on our inner voices, on our intuition. It's something we build. Also, as we get older, I would say it's a little easier to cut the bullshit and to really just stick to what feels true to you. And when you have these inner voices, also to really see, are they really your inner voices, or are they the voices of other people? So I practice that often with my little voices. And so many times they're not even my voices. So allow yourself this time of stillness and reflection. And then take 3 more breaths here. And then slowly walking your hands back. Swing your left leg forward. Take props out of your way. And once again, placing your feet to the edges of the mat and doing nice little windshield wipers. Good. We're ready to come into one of my favorite poses, which is Bananasana. And you come to lie on your back. And please move your hips over to the right edge of the mat. Bring your feet over to the left, and your right foot crosses over the left. And you can see I'm not rolling to the side, so you really want to have both cheeks on the floor. If for some reason it doesn't feel comfortable on your legs, you could also have them next to each other. But try crossing right ankle over left. Take your arms over your head, hold on to your elbows, and then start to walk your upper body to the left. And you will create a little banana shape, hence the name Bananasana. And you will feel the stretch along the front of the right side body. This is your gallbladder meridian. And you might not feel so much except when you deepen your breathing, and it's the breath that really goes in there and really creates this nice sensation of stretch. If you feel really, really open and your shoulders are pretty relaxed, you can also grab your right wrist and go a little bit further with your arms, but just really make sure that there's no pain in your arms and your shoulder, and also that your arm is not falling asleep or anything like that. And then eyes closed, falling into the socket. Really focus on the right line, right side body. You know, it's nice also when you have the eyes closed to visualize energy flowing, breath flowing into the right side, creating this beautiful opening. Bananasana. And so the gallbladder is connected to our ability to make decisions. So clarity is needed if we don't really know what we need, what's good for us, what's not good for us. We're not really clear and we're not really confident to make decisions. So, but once we have clarity, or once we have also that commitment to ourselves to say yes or to say no to what nourishes us. It's also easier from that place to make decisions. And again, even if that means sometimes a decision against something is a decision for yourself. And that feels good. It is much more exhausting trying to please other people or trying to make yourself small in order to fit into other people's expectations. And so rather to feel the joy of really doing what you want to do, or really spending time with the people you want to spend time with. So breathe into that. And then we have one more minute here. Mhm. I'm watching these yellow flowers too fall down. It's really beautiful. They're like little spirals that are twirling down. Really magical. Mhm. Good. Last 30 seconds. Fill them with your deepest breath. I always feel this is a very soothing posture. And when you are ready to come out of it, first release your arms and then release your legs and just come to lie like a starfish. So you're stretching your arms and your legs. Feel the release of the pose. And then when you feel ready for the other side, bend the knees. Move your hips over all the way to the left edge. Slide your feet to the right corner of the mat. Left ankle now crosses over the right. Either hold on to your elbows or your left wrist and start to walk your upper body over to the right until you feel a nice stretch, a nice sensation that you can breathe into. So for me, this is definitely much more tight on the left than on the right side, but I notice I back off a little bit and then I breathe a little deeper into the stretch, and it actually feels good, kind of like a sweet pain. And I'm not questioning why there's a difference on the side, why this, why that. I'm just checking in, connecting, allowing, and adjusting to the side and how it feels. So 4 more minutes on this side. Deep breath. And so the meridians always come as a pair, and the gallbladder meridian is connected to the liver as well. And as you know, the liver is one of the very central organs for metabolism and also stands for supporting us to make plans and to accomplish them. The liver is also connected or responsible for our sense of seeing, for our eyesight, and regulates the flow of our chi. And, it's also important to balance emotions. The liver also supports the nervous system and is often in the Chinese medicine referred to as like the main general. So, because it has a very dynamic, active energy in the body. It's also responsible for bringing blood to the muscles, the tendons, and the joints. And I'm sure, as you heard before, when the liver is not balanced, we get angry. Or, in saying it in another way, anger gets stored in the liver. And so that's also why it's important to always detoxify and not to hold resentments and anger and frustration in the liver. So, beautiful opportunity to let these kind of emotions, if they show up, to just flow through you in your Yin Yoga practice. Last minute here. Taking your last 3 breaths here. And then slowly releasing, coming back into this nice starfish pose. Let your feet fall open, arms out. Just take a couple of nice deep, deep, deep breaths into the belly. Maybe roll your head side to side. Sometimes we hold tension in the neck without knowing. Very good. And then slowly walk your feet closer and hug the knees into the chest and rock a little bit back and forth, side to side. So giving little sparks. Good. All right, let's do a nice easy twist. So arms out to the side. As you exhale, let your knees fall over to the left. Feel free, I highly recommend to place a pillow between the legs. It just feels really nice. Is a little less pulling on the hip and the lower back. And this will be just a transition pose, so maybe 2 minutes or so. Breathing, you can look up, or if it's comfortable, you can look over to the right side. And again, breathing into the liver, which is now being stretched below your right chest. I'm breathing into the twist, into the lower back, kidneys. Nice and easy. Good. Take 3 more breaths here. Come back to the middle and right away roll over to the right. Keep the knee with the pillows in between. Look over your left shoulder or up. Now we're breathing into the left side, stomach, spleen. Really nice also if your arm is out, you can, bring your arm up higher or lower. Feel also a stretch along the front of your left chest, shoulder, and breathe. Couple more breaths here. Also notice if you're about to fall asleep. Some of these poses, it's really nice to drift away. Allow that to happen. I'll bring you back always. Really good to practice letting go and softening. Good. Last big breath. Slowly coming back to the middle. Release your props. Once again, rock a little bit back and forth. Lift your legs up and shake them out. Feels really, really good. Releasing a little bit. Shake, shake, shake. And then grab the back of your legs, come all the way up, and come to sit with your legs wide open. And we're coming into Dragonfly. And my favorite way of doing it is to bring my head into my hands. This is about the right perfect stretch for me. But of course, you can do any other variation. You can rest your head on a block and your arms on the legs. You can use a bolster again as you fold forward. If you feel there's not much mobility in your back at all, you can even just stay seated and place your hands behind or next to your body. So whatever you need to do, however you get the best stretch out of it. Stretching along the inner thigh. breathing. And so we always have an opportunity to discover something new or learn something new about ourselves. Maybe a question to contemplate. What is something new you're learning about yourself right now? Maybe in this Yin Yoga class, or maybe just in this moment of your life. What is something that you feel is about to shift or already shifting? And what are energies you long for or like to invite into your life? So sometimes we long for more kindness or softness, and to maybe have people in our life that represent these energies. Sometimes we're feeling maybe a little sluggish, and then we want some ambitious, dynamic people to like inspire us, motivate us. So, it's really interesting to ask yourself always, what kind of energy are you longing for right now? And who represents or what represents that kind of energy? 2 more minutes here. Hmm. Last 15 seconds. And then slowly pressing down, coming all the way up. Very nice. And slide your hands back and just feel energy flowing, releasing, and you can gently move your legs a little bit. Great. Slowly slide your feet together. So just sitting cross-legged, walk your hands over to the right. Left hand holds on to the right knee. Give yourself a little easy twist here. And then stretch your right arm up and over. So this is not going to be a long hold. I just want to add a little side stretch. A couple of nice deep breaths. Inhale to come up. Exhale to release. Walk your hands over to the left knee. Twisting here, breathing, and holding on to the knee. Taking your left arm up and over one more time, stretching into the left side of the body. Good, and then inhale, come up, exhale, release. Walk your hands forward, stretch one more time, fold, breathe. Walking your hands back, switching the crossing of your legs. Once again, walking your hands forward, fold, breathe. And then find your way all the way back up, all the way back onto your lower back. Placing your hands on top of the knees. Move the knees away from each other, giving little release to the lower back, and then moving the knees towards each other. Good. And then rocking a little bit back and forth. Maybe one more time, bringing your forehead towards your knees, rocking side to side. Anything that feels good. And then when you're ready, stretching your legs, maybe using a bolster or a roll underneath your knees, and coming into Shavasana. Maybe cover your eyes, it always feels really nice. Face is soft. Maybe one more big breath in and then exhale through the mouth. Releasing completely. Slowly begin to deepen your breathing. Gently moving your fingers and your toes. Stretching your arms over your head, giving yourself a nice long stretch. Bending the knees when you're ready, rocking and rolling over onto your yin side, the left side. Allowing a little moment to rest there. And then when you feel ready, slowly finding your way back up into a nice comfortable seat. And keep the eyes closed, staying in this yin energy and that softness, receptiveness, noticing how your body feels, anything that may have released or opened, just recognizing the beautiful flow of energy and the flow of breath in your body. And so as we admire this beautiful tree in my backyard that's just doing its job, 3 days a year of flowering, and then really creating so much beauty that everybody enjoys. We take that as an inspiration to also really see the beauty in just doing what we are here to do, or what we are meant to do, or what really fills us up and creates most joy. There's a beautiful quote by Nikki Banas from a book called Soul Waves, and it's called Becoming You. Become the you that you so deeply desire to become. Become the you who inspires you, the you that makes you excited for life. Become the you that believes in yourself entirely, without hesitation or doubt. Become the you that bets on you every single time. Become the you that lives out your dreams, the you that isn't afraid to change your life or take a leap of faith because you know that you are meant for something more. Become the you that is the greatest version of yourself, the you that is strong and confident and beautiful in your own skin. Take the steps. Do what the best version of you would do. Become the you that you so deeply desire to become. Please take your hands together in front of the heart. A little moment of gratitude to yourself for carving out the time to be here today, to nourish yourself with this practice. Now let's close and seal with the soft sound of Om. Nice big breath. Om. And thank you so much for joining me today. Wishing you a peaceful, restful rest of your day. Namaste. Thank you.